Well, the recommendations, they made a few points in there that I think are important. One of them is they recognize the importance of Intendance. And in fact, these days, Intendance is one of possibly the most important nesting beach on Mahe, especially for hawksbills, although to some extent for green turtles. And that environmental impact assessment also highlighted the importance of maintaining a good setback line.
Do you know what this setback line was?
Well, I think what they stipulated was that they would maintain the footprint from the banyan tree resort. And so they weren't specific about exactly how many meters it should be. And on Mahe, we do have problems with, we're up against the granite. And so you have a limited amount of setback that you can have. So that's always you have to balance that. But the second thing that they said in the environmental impact assessment was that it was very important. They made a big deal about during construction that there would be no artificial light visible on the beach. And they also mentioned that once the hotel got going, they would also need to be very careful about maintaining only turtle-friendly lighting. But unfortunately, they never really defined what was turtle-friendly lighting. But that's okay because there are global definitions of turtle-friendly lighting. And like I say, this has become a science, really, in many parts of the world because, humans like to develop coastlines. And everybody likes the beach. People like to put their buildings, their condominiums next to the beach, their hotels next to the beach. But they also want to maintain their turtles, so you get into this kind of balancing act. And it's become a real science. We know really how to protect the turtles from artificial lighting. And in some parts of the world, it's been, they have, there's many places where there's guidelines, but there's also, in many places, mandates. And two such places would be in Florida. Now, as you may know, Florida has a long coastline, and they've got a lot of sea turtles nesting. And they've got a lot of development along the coast. And they've put in place regulations that during the turtle season especially, you need to control your lighting. You need to shade your lights so that it's not visible. So what's inside your accommodation is not visible on the outside, which is fair enough. I mean, you don't have to change your lighting inside. Just don't share it with the turtles. And then also there's different types of light that are better for turtles than others. And so they've got regulations in place. And they've been very successful. It's really impressive to see where they've got kilometers of coastline with tall buildings that are really, they have this under control.
They're respectful with the environment.
They're respectful, yeah. And the turtles are still coming. So the people like the turtles, and once people understand, why they need to shade their lights and why they need to use only a certain kind of light on the outside, they're pretty good about accepting that. And then in Australia too, especially in Queensland, on the coast there, you've got some very important turtle populations. And of course, people want to be setting up their buildings and their condominiums in hotels, in a place where there is wildlife that they can enjoy. And the government has actually put in place mandates. This is not, guidelines. This is mandates. And they've been able to control, kilometers of coastline. And people are reasonably happy with it. I don't think that, I think it's been working.
Do we have any such mandates in Seychelles?
We don't. We've kind of had kind of informal guidelines, I think.